All right, next up we have Vivienne.
Minutes just to get ready. If everyone. Could you hold this for 1 second for me? Thank
Bow, bow.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, so great to be here. My name is Vivienne Aerts, which means earth in Dutch, because I'm from the Netherlands, where they have cheese and windmills and all that stuff. Yeah, tulips. Yeah, and this is the season. I'm actually flying back tomorrow for just a little trip, and it's the herring. You know these like fish. This is the week. Yeah, but they have tulips too. It's all of it. Well, actually, talking about food, so um, I'll sing a song that's from my new album that just came out, my third one, and the album is called Typuhth. It's spelled funny because it's not just one thing, it's a lot of type of things. And my album comes with a bar of chocolate because my husband is a pastry chef and we've been working together with collaboration, experimental stuff. And this particular bar that I really love is made by women in Congo. These farmers, these 1,500 female cacao farmers, are paid living wage so they can actually grow the business, send the kids to school, and they plant a tree for every bar, so it's carbon negative, climate positive. I just love the whole project, so I figured just by getting the chocolate, then we support their business as well. And because of that, all the women on the album is 100 female musicians, which I'm just by myself today. um, but between the songs on the album, there's sound samples and sounds from the Congo. I got the birds from the jungle. I got these women that are talking about sustainability and a motorcycle through the mud road. And there's even pygmies singing. There's very short samples of these sounds interwoven in the music. So I'd love to do the first opening song just by myself instead of with my choir. And we'll start with the birds from the jungle. So these, what you'll gonna hear, the birds are real, from Virunga State Park, Congo. just go. If the road is lost and you don't know where to start, follow your heart. Just go. If it's circling around you, leaving dizziness instead, you're waltzing through your fears, leaving worries way behind. Just too far to reach you, no answer would provide. Do we have to run, or do we have to hide? You don't know where to start. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. Just go. Just go. Thank you. Thank you. So yeah. Questions? I do have chocolate on me, if that's the question. Yes. Yes. After we're all done tonight, you can meet me, and you can get the album, but we have tasters as well. Yes. Ah, I did not go. Um, did. Oh, we're back. I'm not touching anything. Um, it was 2 years before Congo. We toyed before COVID. We toyed with the idea, and there was like rebellion groups in Virunga State Park. There is this whole jungle. I mean, Congo is very big, right? So there's this jungle in the middle. There's the natural resources like gold, uranium, and everybody's just killing each other over it. And the women that live there are often left alone because the men are either traumatized by just being kidnapped young and having to work with these rebellion groups. You cannot go outside after 11. 11 a.m., that's when the men wake up from their hangover and they're starting to make trouble again because they're traumatized by all the horror they had to go through. So there's a real big issue, and they started with this foundation on the ground with 400 women. They teach them how to read and write. They gave them a protein source, which is in their case, you cannot just have a fridge in the jungle, right? So they have like, there's no way you're gonna keep a cow. Anyway, so they got like guinea pigs as a natural protein source, and they taught them how to do sustainable farming with the cacao, because basically cacao is already native to that area, and the owner of this chocolate brand is big on trees because he's German and he's like 7th generation forester, and cacao needs shade. So it's in the business best to create high quality cacao and create shade. So these women, they know now and there's 1,500 of them, but we wanted to go, so the first year was like, no, it's some rebelling groups and you cannot. And the second year was like, now there's Ebola. And then the third year was COVID, right, so it's like, oh yeah, still not go. And I was stuck in the Netherlands during COVID, and I was like, okay, we'll just do it. And then the CEO of the chocolate brand told me that there was this lady, radio journalist from the BBC. She's been there in 2016 at a period where it's safe. And I talked to her eventually. She's like, oh my God, anything I could do to help these people and to just like spread the word about this project, because it's just, this is an amazing example, not charity, but just like helping these people grow the business, right? It's not just like, oh, just donate or send some t-shirts because these people don't have a t-shirt. No, it's actually we buy things for the real price. A living wage is 250% higher than fair trade, right? So anyway, so I got all the sounds from her interviews at 8 gigabytes of like talk in Swahili and translations, and then the extraneous sound, and I was just so inspired. So I mixed them in respectfully into that music. Yeah, that's a long answer to a short question. Sorry about that. Anybody else?
What software are you using?
This right now is Loopy Pro. I sometimes go wild. I have like several apps I use at the same time, but now I like the Loopy Pro, the recent update. I mean, it's the one that Jimmy Fallon did like 10 years ago, right? It was Loopy and it was free. But then they, now it's really fancy. Yeah, I got all these circles, and I can record like directly into it, and you can just change everything real time. I mean, I like applications that you can use as an instrument, because I don't like just like starting the birds, yeah, of course, I cannot just be a bird, but yeah. But yeah, on my computer for my whole like, for my record, producing a record with 100 female musicians, I use Logic Pro, and then my mixing engineer, she uses Ableton. Pro Tools. Yeah, and my master engineer as well.
So where did you get your 100 musicians from?
40 countries. Most of them, I mean, almost all of them I know from either from my background in the Netherlands or from touring or from, I went to Berklee College of Music, I teach there. So yeah, all over. And it's a bummer because now I keep meeting amazing women, and I'm like, you should have been on my... Yeah, it's endless. So I'm, I love feminism, but I want to show that, how many amazing women there are, and they should be featured. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of female singers, we all know, but how many female drummers do you know? How many female master engineers do you know? They're less common, but there's a bunch of them. And I have a big list if you ever need it. My website, there's an interactive, I'm a computer geek, so I made this map where you can click on it and then you just see what they do. It's like really intense. So to feature, and yeah, we're starting a podcast very soon with all the episodes about all these women, so that will probably take me 2 more years. Yeah. But, you know. No, there's no way. Putting these, it's 40, no, put them all in the same place. No, there are 40 countries. But I'm going to Korea because one of the piano players from the album lives in Seoul, and she's been telling me for years, you should come. And now she's on my album, so she's like, now you have no excuse, we're gonna get a band. So yeah, I'm touring in Korea, which is amazing. 3 weeks of like hang, food, and music. Yeah, so that's very exciting. Anybody else?
I really love the way that you built all the loops together. I was wondering if you could talk about the process of imagining the soundscapes that you create and how the song is written in general.
Well, this was an arrangement that I originally put with this. I used this app that you can just sample sounds from, and it's sort of a drum computer, so that's how I sort of wrote it. And then I made a little video of it, and then I gave it to my arranger in Sweden, and she turned that whole video into a choir. So she wrote all that down on a paper, and then we distilled all the parts, and I sent all these parts together with a click track and some harmony parts, because, you know, singing a cappella to a click, it's really, you know. So yeah, they had some sort of a background and they could sing with the click. And then they sent all, it was 26, on the album it's 26 women singing this. And then they send it all back to me, so can you imagine the number of emails? And then I cleaned it all up and make sure that they all do the ooh at the same time. And then I put my lead voice on it. And then I went to the mixing engineer and the master engineer. But every song is different. So on the album, there's also a big band song, there's an orchestra song, and then the sound samples that have the sounds from the jungle and the chocolate farmers in it. These I created all like. I did a call to action on Instagram, send me 5 seconds of a sound, and like so many people send me. So these are all that became like a logic file with all like 110 layers of 5 seconds. And then I had to reorganize it like a big Sudoku puzzle and make it like cool. Yeah, I mean the soundscapes, they're impossible to perform anyway. But we usually play them and then people can eat the chocolate. So we'll do that afterwards because we're on a time frame.
Yeah, I'm just curious because it feels so operatic and has such a huge dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
To like starting with the whole whispering sounds and building into kind of the peak
Right.
sound that you can have for one person on stage. I guess I'm curious in a piece that has that much range. Like, what was the first idea you had? Like, what started off the process?
Well, it's the basic flow of the melody in this case, and with the bass pattern, like that's sort of a breath, and it just continues throughout the song. It was really hard to come up with a version then after that whole choir. I mean, I'd love to do that, but it's all specific parts, so I cannot just loop a whole song into a choir live. That's because it's not that. The chords change constantly, so I don't want to just recreate this. So I sort of basically built the same vibe, and I do that spontaneously. Right, so I know that I'm gonna be in the key of D, and I know that the bass pattern is gonna be like, and I know that I'll play some sort of that. But basically, all these like added sounds, it just happens live. But I do work a lot with improvisation because with my husband we create like this weird chocolate experiences where I do improvise like any sound. So I'm cool with just a sort of basic outline. Obviously I remember the lyrics, but yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and final question. Yeah, what do you first listen to when you listen to a song?
I love complex harmonies that sound easy. Yeah, like the really intense. I'm big on jazz. I don't know, and it just like the more spacey it gets, it's cool. Um, but yeah, I love like an easy melody on top of some bizarre carpet. Yeah, that's what I look for. Yeah. Thank you.